Joining me right now is North Carolina Congressman, member of the House Education and Labor Committee, and practicing physician himself, Congressman Greg Murphy. Congressman, good to have you. Thanks very much for joining us. Your reaction to this rollout?
I think it's nothing short of miraculous to be where we are right now compared to where we were at the beginning of the year. It's a big rollout. They've been working on this for several months. I'm sure there are going to be glitches, but I think for overall, this will be a fantastic day and a new beginning, really, for the United States.
So how do you expect this to roll out and play out? It's coming off the trucks now, going to hospitals. We know that we're expecting the healthcare workers on the front lines to be among the first. What are you envisioning about the impact of this vaccine onto the market within the coming months?
I think it will be it is our beginning step. It is our first step to get out of the pandemic. You know, at my medical institution, they're standing ready to transfer the product into their cold storage and then get them out to the appropriate employees. This is really the beginning step for us to move forward as a nation. And I couldn't be happier that we're here. I wish it had been done a few months ago, but this is going to change the way that we could get back to normal.
So you are on the Education and Labor Committee. Do you expect a potential mandate for students and teachers to take this vaccine before returning to public schools and colleges?
Yeah. No, I don't think we're in the same realm that we are with measles, mumps, rubella, that type of vaccine thing. You know, here we are. We're talking about certain populations. The school age population, thankfully enough, is not one nearly that suffers from the disease, nor is as infective from this particular virus as, say, measles are. And so, you know, as we move forward, I think it will be offered. I think a large number of our faculty, our teachers, our professors will take the vaccine. I don't see the students, to be very honest with you, taking it as much, just because they're not going to be that effective.
Let me bring in Lee Carter. Go ahead, Lee.
So I know one of the concerns a lot of Americans have is the rollout plan. We know that it's going to start with frontline workers. How can we expect this to roll out? When do we think that we're going to get to the mass or herd immunity that we really need to start going back to normal?
Well, I think that's really the goal that we're all aiming towards. If you look at this chronologically, you know, I said earlier in the year that I thought a lot more people actually had been exposed to the virus than actually had been than was being reported. CDC came out and confirmed that about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I think we have a large part of our population that's already been, I don't want to use the word inoculated, but they've already been exposed to the virus, so they already contribute to that herd immunity with antibodies. But as we move forward, if we get the 25 million doses from Pfizer this month, and then Moderna jumps on, and then Janssen, and then AstraZeneca, where we're having 100 million doses a month, I think, to be honest with you, if you look at a realistic timeline, it's probably going to be April, May, until the people who want to get vaccinated, who need to be vaccinated, will. And I think at that point in time, there will be a marked turning point in what happens in this nation. I do think, you know, as far as this present surge probably is going to peak, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks, just like the other surges have peaked. And then it can added with the vaccines themselves, we're going to see a marked decline just in the next few months.
That makes a lot of sense. Let me ask you, switch gears and ask you about student debt. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on Joe Biden to forgive up to $50,000 of student debt per person on day one of his presidency. Last week, I spoke with Education Secretary Betsy DeVos about the potential loan forgiveness. Here's what she said. I got to get your take on it as well.
Yeah.
To ask taxpayers, 2 out of 3 of whom have not gone to college, to help underwrite the forgiveness of those 1 in 3 that have is fundamentally unfair. Not to mention all of the students who have shopped for value, who have saved, who have worked, who have paid down their student loans and have satisfied their debt, to then be asked to underwrite the write-off of other students' loans. Again, fundamentally unfair.
Congressman, what do you think?
I could not agree with that more. I believe that, you know, these students oftentimes have been working a job while going to college, taking longer to go to college, just so that they can be fiscally responsible. If you forgive, and believe me, forgiving doesn't make it go away. It basically transfers that debt onto people who've actually paid to go to school before and to other taxpayers. And it disproportionately, actually, forgiving debt disproportionately actually helps the wealthy, because a lot of those folks have actually gone to private schools. The federal government wrote a nice big check to those colleges and universities. In my op-ed last week, the colleges and universities have had free money coming to them for a long time. They have not been good stewards of our money. So therefore, all the kids who now have graduated have this massive debt. It's because of poor financial structures from our colleges and universities. You should go there to learn, not to go to a lazy river or a safe space or something else. So.
Yeah, it's a good analysis. Somebody's got to pay the bill at the end of the day. That's why Joe Biden wants to raise taxes by $4.3 trillion. Raise taxes on the highest earners. Let them pay for it. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much, sir. We'll keep watching that.
Thank you so much.
Congressman Greg Murphy joining us this morning.